allow the children to the budget. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. She off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. And in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This man not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Aha. Now you not done here, all these bad politicians, them we call themselves politicians. When they thief our money, we no want make the common man get waiting suppose get for this country. And I never hear something. Now go hear one, Maiyegun, you go show na paper. Maiyegun diary political. So my people make you shout, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we loud, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. Maiyegun diary, diary politico. Maiyegun diary, Maiyegun number one. sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary na ibi number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tó ń gba rìbá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Hello there, brethren. Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And good evening to you, of course, from wherever you're joining us. It is brunch time with Maiyegun, and it's also an open mic too, meaning as you are watching, you can also be calling to contribute. So, after reading the caption of the broadcast, sure, read the description as well, like it, hear it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them to join us. Tell them it is brunch time. And we are going to Nepal this hour. I bet so many of you are possibly already seeing the videos from Nepal. Now, what is happening in Nepal? Well, a revolution. Because there are people who have come to realize that if you want to do away with a corrupt system, if you want to do away with unrepentant crooks, career criminals, controlling your government, that are making your country never to work for you, then election is not enough. Because like some very dangerous, viruses, they tend to build immunity against any antibiotics, right? And that's exactly what it is for the criminal politicians who have built criminal empire in your political system. They've corrupted every supposed organ of government that should ordinarily serve as a check and balances for all of them in the interest of their people. Corrupt criminals who carries out state captures whenever they capture power. They will advise their own citizens to endure while they live lavish, luxurious lives. Their children are all over social media living the life of the bourgeoisie, the children of the bourgeoisie, and the traumatized population just watch powerlessly. Their situation is so similar to what you have in that contraption called Nigeria. It is so similar. Let me tell you this. They have been so oppressed, right? The Communist Party in Nepal, they've been in power for a while, however, like they have become so established in the system whereby people have been made to accept that there's nothing they can do. They watch as their common resources or common patrimony, were being, filtered away and then stolen in such an unimaginable kind of level, right? But they tend to be so powerless. They went for an election, the same criminals rigged the election, and they remain in power. So it got so bad that people only had to use social media to vent their rage, to vent their displeasure against their government. And of course, as expected, right? The supposed democratic government turned to totalitarian dictatorship, where those who they called dissidents or dissent, right, and those who criticize the government on social media became easy targets. The Gestapos in government, hunting down anybody who says anything that makes any of the government officials feel uncomfortable, like you have in Nigeria, that they are struggling to make laws to jail you for expressing yourselves on social media. According to them, like Nigeria too, they demanded that, the social media platforms, the companies must register. They have been registered in Nepal, so that with that, maybe that will give them an opportunity to control the narrative. That is, after capturing their normal conventional media. So social media became the unconventional one, where conversations are not regulated. So dictators, criminals in power, hiding behind fake democracy to oppress their people, right? Thought if they force the hands of Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and all of these platforms, if they force them to, register in Nepal, have their offices there, that old mentality, right? Have their offices there, then they can be able to not only to shut down the oppositions and all that, and then they can shut down the entire platform just by a switch. And that has been the dream of the APC, Egbekegbe, in Nigeria too. So similarly, right? The poverty in the country continued to increase. The politicians continued, and their families continue to live so large, extravagantly. And whoever says anything, they get arrested, or they just disappear. Or for those ones that are not made to disappear, they tend to just put them on trumped-up charges, like, oh, they want to overthrow government, or like they want to kill the prime minister, and all that bullshit. So it was when their government now came for the only thing left that, like in some other oppressed oppressed people in the oppressive regimes in oppressive countries, social media seems to be where people let out their frustration. So the government came for that. And then the next thing, they banned social media. They shut it down. That is what now triggered, like, okay, we've taken a lot. We've taken all of your madness. You have seen us as powerless and uncoordinated, not united. And we couldn't really fight you because you have the military, you have the police and the rest. Did you just come for our social media? That is it. And that's what will happen in Nigeria too. Do you get what I mean now? Like, those of you who are preparing for your charade elections, right? You can have as many elections as you want. But to remove the demagogues, to get rid of an entrenched, corrupt system that continue to pop up these rogues and criminals that get away with their crimes against you, you are going to do more than just an election. And that is what they fear most. The day the dam will break, how many of them would they sweep? So yesterday, they started protesting. I mean, they didn't go for their government right away. They just wanted to let them know that they are not happy that you are making such a decisions, right? So they protested. And guess what happened? Yeah, power-drunk criminals who think they are better than you and me simply because they have access to be in government. So automatically they feel like, they are better than you and I. And therefore, you have to do what they say, not what they do. People protested peacefully. And the next thing, they unleashed the military on them, the police. And before you know it, They've killed 16 people in their own capital, just like your own Abuja, right? Kathmandu is called, right? They killed 16 people in another city next to it. They killed 2 people in a single day. That was it. That's not the first time they are being killed, though. They've had clamp down where they've had protests, and the government will clamp on them, and they will kill and jail, all that stuff, and nothing happens. But this one is different. All hell broke loose. And that is why you are hearing about Nepal, left, right, and center. But I've done you one very good favor, us. I've managed to get some of the clips of how it happened and what is going on in Nepal, at least in the last half an hour, for those who are watching live. So what did they do? Right? The moment they found that these criminals believes that they are pretty much like untouchable, the Gen Z in the country, they kicked in. And what did the government do as well? They sent policemen into schools to start shooting students. That's it. There's no coming back from this. In their numbers, first they overwhelmed the security themselves. Some of them ran away. Some of them got beaten blue, black, like, honestly. Then it turned to revolution, straight up, like they were ready to die. Guess what they did next? First, they went straight to the house of the prime minister, the head of the government. Right, they went for him. They found him and his wife, right? They went to their airport, took over the part of their airport because, surprisingly, the government that was feeling so powerful, in control, a few days ago, suddenly, they just saw the surge in the number of choppers at one of their capital airports, like so many shoppers, meaning the criminal politicians have made arrangements to leave the country, run away. But why would they get to the airport when everywhere is already taken over by people? I'm talking about tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Enough to get the soldiers, the military themselves, to run for their lives. Others drop their weapons and they join the protest. It is coming to the dictator next to you. The day that of Nigeria will break, it's not going to be a revolution. It's going to be a civil war. I'll tell you what I think about that when we get to that side, right? So, they went to their prime minister's house, overpowered the security, took over the house, his wife himself, beat them blue black, set the house ablaze. Entered their parliament, those who they could find, cabinet members, cabinet ministers, like finance, foreign minister, this and that. They managed to catch up with them. Their politicians were escaping the city in ambulances. Powerful politicians who always have an idea of what the people want. The moment you are like, you are talking rubbish, they will say you are the enemy of the country, enemy of the government. The criminal politicians started running away inside ambulances. Yet they still caught a few of them too. I have videos. So we're going to go to Nepal, to the Ronukus who are in Nigeria, the day that the entire contraption is going to collapse. If any of you, maybe you go gather your bottle, gather your knife, say you want to defend this contraption because of Tinubu and APC and the rest. That's why I said that it is not going to be a revolution in that contraption. It is going to be a civil war. So the criminals who are breeding the population of, big or tribalists for their political, weaponizing tribalism, weaponizing bigotry for their political gain, we have a film for you. When the alarm will sound, nobody is going to come and do it. They will set the country ablaze. And those who have already bottled their frustration, those who they feel like they have conquered, what will you do? Nothing. Now, noise all of now they make on social media. You have seen them done worse. You have seen all of their criminality. If it be just one small, what do you call it? If it be just one street hawker, that is going to want to cross the street, and one of the criminal politicians' convoy will knock the person down, and they will leave the person there, and the entire country will go up in smoke. It's not always like, oh, I mean, you've seen the worst now. We saw what they did the last. I mean, why people are not angry then? Why are they angry because of ordinary? Asked Nepal Prime Minister in a communist country. Do you understand how the communists operate? Don't worry. Let's go to Nepal. First, the rage, as well as the encounter, the clash with those who were supposed to protect the people, but suddenly they were protecting the powerful, protecting the politicians. Do you know that though, right? That your criminal police and the military that tells you that they are there to provide you security. When the chips are down, do you know who they are going to protect? They will turn their guns on you, the people, because the criminals who made you believe that these guys are working to protect you, right, will tell them to shoot and kill you. And they will turn it and shoot and kill you too. Now that day you go understand, say, your military is not for your protection. Your police is not for your protection. The day that you reach that point, you will find it out. Well, I mean, you've actually found a few times, right? Where the people who are paid by the taxpayers, who themselves, after taking off their uniforms, they go back to their family, they go back to their homes, they go back to the same street, the same market that every ordinary person also faces. But when the criminal politicians comes to judgment, you are willing to hold your gun and turn it against your fellow oppressed because you have a uniform, right? In Nepal, it didn't last long, right? Now let's go there. The first part.
स्कुल भित्र पनि अश्रु ग्यास सानो अबोध केटाकेटीलाई पढिरहेको अवस्थामा इटली नगरपालिकाबाट प्रहार गरिएका शस्त्रहरूले प्रहार गरेको अश्रु ग्यास विद्यालय क्षेत्रभित्र पनि प्रवेश गरिएको छ। यो चाहिँ अलिकति के त भन्दाखेरि सरासरी अपराधै गरेको सरासरी अपराधै भएन। यो चाहिँ अति भयो। बिचारा यहाँ पढ्ने विद्यार्थीहरू कसरी पढ्ने, कहाँ जाने, कुन अवस्थामा जाने, कसरी विचार गर्ने, कसले चाहिँ गर्ने यसको चाहिँ सरकारको ध्यानै कतातिर छ, विद्यार्थीहरू यतातिर छन्। लु हेर्नुहोस् त बिचारा यी सबै विद्यार्थीहरू कहाँ जाने, कसको आँखा समात्ने, कसले मुख समात्ने हो, कसरी पढ्ने। छि 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 छि
राम्रो बोल घरभित्र है, घरभित्र राम्रो बोल घरभित्र कस्तो घरभित्र है।
आर्मीहरू जोइन गर्यो
They are Gen Z, by the way. They call them the Gen Z of Nepal. It's about to get to the interesting part. Because once they found these guys, not only that they were given the beating of their lives, these powerful people, their family and the rest of them found. I mean, these are people who have lived under this oppression for so long. Do you understand? Bottled frustration. Politicians didn't care because they had the power, they had the military. Most of the time when you see them put so much money on buying weapons or upgrading their military, upgrading their policemen, they are mostly training them on what they call the crowd control too. But their crowd control is to, use the force of arm when necessary. And most of the time, it is always necessary to protect them with that. So what did people do? Once they found their homes, overwhelmed their security, got in, they dragged them out and they set their properties ablaze. Because according to them, it's stolen money anyway. You didn't work for this money to live in this kind of a house. No, you didn't. You stole the money because of the privilege the country gave you. But what did you give the country back? The middle finger. And the audacity for most of you to feel like nothing will ever happen. Like you're so confident that the number of army or soldiers that are protecting you will be enough to defend you against millions of people if they actually come for you. But the cowards, most of the time, they are always willing to run away from the country. Yeah. The criminal politicians, when they get to power, they do everything to chase everybody out of the country as much as possible. But whenever the chips are down, the first thought in their mind is to run away from the country. The country that you are all powerful, rich, powerful, connected, you are like God. You treated the people so bad that the day they choose to come for you, the first thing that crosses your mind is how to run away from that same place because you want to save your head. So you're no longer ready to die for the country anymore. You are only ready to kill people to protect your loot in the name of protecting the country. Let's go back to Nepal. This is the part you get to see where they grabbed some of their officials. And viewers' discretion is advised. It will be your choice. Nepal. Someone was asking, which country was that? That's Nepal. Google it. So they were everywhere. The airport, the parliament, the governor, the prime minister's official quarters, the prime minister's private quarters, finance ministers, foreign minister, and every other cabinet member that they could find. Others that could easily just run to the neighboring country, I think India, run to India or run, for those who escaped early. But for those who were told that nothing is going to happen, the military will crush them. So their Supreme Court then ruled that the government should unban the social media. And immediately, for peace, the same prime minister then announced that, okay, they should unban the social media. Let's come to time like that time of your NSAS. NSAS could have been the time to show the criminals in charge of Nigeria who have now grown bigger, more confident. NSAS time was the time you should have run them out of town. They ran away. Do you know how many of them who escaped from Nigeria? Because they thought this is the hour. The time has come. Because the NSAS stuff was like spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading. It was so massive that they've already prepared how to smuggle Boko Haram out of Nigeria. Tinubu difference. Baba, he ran away straight up. He didn't bother to go back to Nigeria. Because they all felt like this was it. They were praying. They were praying that the northern Nigeria shouldn't join. And luckily for them, the north didn't join because of Boko Haram. Because if they had joined, Boko Haram would probably have become history a long time ago. APC would be dead. There would be no Tinubu as your president today. But yeah, it got botched. But similar kind of like uprising have happened several times in this same Nepal. The rogue communist party there felt like this is not new. We can deal with it. Their prime minister stayed back to the last minute because he never in his wildest dream imagined that They will actually overpower his own security. He will get caught up and beaten, bloody. How long do you think this one has been in their politics to become the prime minister? How old do you think this man is? Oli. Right? And did you see him in that clip as well? They grabbed him. So he's someone who probably has been in their politics for over 40 years or 50 years. He's also the co-chair of their ruling party in Nepal. He's not just the prime minister, he is also co-chair. He's the head of the country, or head of the government rather. Do you know how long he probably has been in their government, living large? He grew old in the politics. Do you know how many of such political uprisings he probably had witnessed? And he thought, well, this is not new. We'll crush them. But they crushed him. They did. Today, not only that he resigned, he was caught by the same protesters who didn't shoot or fire a single gun, a single shot. As the same policemen he ordered to shoot at these protesters were firing and shooting at them. Over 80 people sustained different kinds of injury, including gunshot wound. All for what? To protect that rogue, to protect him. But it didn't last. No, it didn't. Same fate befell other members of his cabinet too. Watch this final clip.
सबैलाई जय नेपाल आज म बोल्छु नेपाली सुन्छ I can talk in English, I can talk in Nepali, whatever the fuck you want. Everyone listen. छातीमा गोली खाएको छु छातीमा यहाँ पनि गोली खाएको छु मेरो चस्मा फुट्यो I get this मैले proper documentation बनाएको छु यो मेरो रगत हो नेपालीको रगत हो नेताहरूले बोलाएका छन् right we are going to stand together every single one of them are you with me यो जिन्दगीको बोली हो जेनजीहरू को छन् हात उठाउँ त once more जेनजीज कि मैले रगत बगाएको छु राइट यो रगतको आँसु एक दिन तिनीहरू बाँच्किनेहरू बुझ्छन् Sorry for the language, I don't want to fucking curse.
They won. Those who have oppressed them for so long, some of them might have escaped, but the ones who are currently responsible for the oppression that these young people have been subjected to have actually paid the price. They won. When you have a place where you are not allowed the free will to choose your own leaders, elect your own representatives, because they've compromised every institution, and they'll tell you that, well, that is what democracy is. Try again next time. That is not right. That is called if you premise your peace on that, it is called graveyard peace. That's what they have in that contraption. Do not let anybody gaslight you by saying that instead of us to pray for our country, let us pray for peace. We shouldn't pray for anything like this in Nigeria. Those Olori Bruku that says that, right? These are a bunch of, what do you call it? Psychosis, schizophrenia, suffering lunatics. I don't even know if that's correct. But you shall know all the big words there, Sha, what I'm trying to drive at. Do not let anybody tell you that demanding for the just society, where everybody is treated equally, right, is a demand for, it is a demand for the breakdown of peace. No, they are comfortable keeping you as slaves as you are, mentally, and what have you. Any question outside that is a threat to the peace they've stolen from you, and the comfort they've taken from you. So if you demand for extra, they will be uncomfortable. So therefore, they respond with violence. Yeah, they do. So don't feel comfortable with where this Olori Bruku APC Egbekegbes wants you to be. No be life, you not the live for that contraption. I have to remind you. But yeah, you see, it is just going to happen. Something like this is already due to happen. In that contraption, what they have been doing is that they have been kicking the can down the road. You get that now, right? Instead of picking up the trash now and deal with it, what these rogues have been doing is that they are buying time, kicking the can down the road. There's going to be a time that somebody is going to pick up the trash and burn it. It's going to happen. In that contraption, it's just a matter of time, right? So to the youngies, the youngins in Nepal, well done, oh. And I hope that at the end of the day, the normal opportunists that are currently lurking in the corner, who are also part and parcel of the corrupt system, but somehow they've managed to pretend to be on the side of the people so that they can position themselves to replace the rogues you have sent away. Because for another revolution to happen like this, that will end the government, like what just happened in Nepal, again, may not happen for another 10, 20 years. It simply means that some people are going to actually fill in the gap, the hole created by these rogues that they have chased away. And they will pretend to be on the side of people for a while. And then the whole thing will change again. Everybody is back to square one, looting, stealing, and all that. I am not wishing that on you in Nepal, but I have seen that happen severally, where one set of criminals are chased away, only to be replaced by even more deadlier, more corrupt criminals. I've seen that happen before. And I've seen where people are unable to stage the same level of, revolution that can easily replace them. I've seen that too. So I wish you all the best. Now let's go back to Nigeria. Yesterday, right? Dino, was on one of these Arise programs. And we were talking about the contraption, like, where have you been? Kennedy Dino said, well, I have been getting my law degree because I didn't want Nigeria to happen to me. Because if they knew that I was getting a degree, they might have probably done something to make sure that I never got a degree. I never become a lawyer. Anyway, that's just a preamble. However, talking about the state of the contraption, starting from his own party, PDP, which it's no longer in PDP, he resigned. He's now a member of the coalition for Atiku, and he believes that anyone who is telling you that they want to resurrect a PDP, they are just playing with your emotion, because PDP is dead. And in his word, let me show you his words.
Yeah, apart from our Lord Jesus Christ, no dead can rise again. And I want to tell you that whatever you are saying is makeshift.
In PDP?
The dead is dead. We can only advertise the obituary.
You're not saying PDP is dead. I mean, is that what you're saying?
Dead and buried. PDP was sold. And I'm not sure if they got the receipt of payment, but it was sold. And what you have now is APC-controlled PDP.
Why do you say that?
Because that is what it is.
How?
That is what it is.
How?
It is a party that is being controlled from the villa. I've said that in my last interview, that as far as we're concerned, it is the agents of the APC that control the PDP. And I would not really want this meeting and discussion this evening to be about the PDP. Let's talk about the living.
No, you can't dodge talking about PDP, because as far as they're concerned, they are, what do you call it?
Allow the dead to bury their
convention is coming up.
Allow the dead to bury their dead.
I had some of them here on the program, yes. And I repeated what Makinde said. Makinde said, let's have a party first, like it was there. And they said, no. So now they have.
So if a sitting governor is saying, let's have a party first.
No, he explained that.
So meaning that there's no party.
No, he explained that.
So I want to appeal to you.
He said
there are critical issues bedeviling this country. There are issues of hunger out there. There are issues of malnutrition out there. There are issues of misgovernance, maladministration out there. Those are the issues I think we should discuss. PDP is a political party. I'm not a member anymore.
And you're not going back.
I mean...
So where are you now? Are you, after the introduction, are you with the ADC?
I'm a proud member of the ADC.
And you think ADC...
And that is the party that will unseat Tinubu and by the grace of God, send APC out of the villa. Yeah, apart from our Lord Jesus...
Kennedy Dino is back. Because in case if you don't know, right now, all the old takers and the new takers, they are already shining their, I wanted to say soccer boots, but I would say battle boots, shining their different tools that they are going to deploy ahead of your 2027 charade. So don't be surprised as the year runs out and you get into the new year. Tinubu and his gang are going to invest more of their time, like they have already been doing from day one, on his re-election. Sure you get. And therefore, your political space is going to be saturated with all kinds of these characters dropping their different takes. And sadly, most of their takes will be true, but at the same time, ambiguous. Because behind all they say, right, is one thing, and that is their desire to replace the current rogues, as most of them have been displaying recently. Staying out of power makes them see the failure of the country, and suddenly they think they could do it better outside the government if they are given the chance to go back in. But I'll keep reminding you, in their trade, right, in this business, right, you are actually the commodity. the people who somehow continue to entertain them as like you have no real choice, sort of. Tinubu and his gang continue to lie to millions of people in Nigeria because they couldn't really explain how the policy that they are patting themselves on the back for, clapping for themselves, Baba, organizing awards for themselves that they have done so well with Tinubu's reforms. The people are still living in a such like a hard place. But what APC Egbekegbe is now telling everybody is that it will take time before they will feel it. And there is no rush. We need to give Tinubu some time for his policy to reflect on your lives. While others are saying, what time? Like, if you like, give him like 10, 20 years, the result will be the same. And they will continue to possibly tell you that it is better than how it was 20 years ago. Even when you, the living witness, can really see that. So they are busy with that. Oh, we've got so much money. They continue to talk about investors. Investors this, investors that, investors Sabinus. Investors Sabi. Because APC, Egbekegbe's investors are imaginary, in which, severally they've come out to announce that, they signed this particular deal of billion. And these people will come back and say, no, we didn't sign any kind of, we didn't sign that kind of a deal. And shamelessly, they will pretend that it's nothing. They'll move on. As they say that you can't shame the shameless. The effect of Tinubu's actions and inactions and that of those who are with him are what you are feeling in the country. Any other explanation outside that is just a fallacy. And in that respect, the oppositions are building their own defense, or should we say their own argument of why they are probably better. Not like they are presenting anything to contrary. And I will explain that too. But still, they are building on the failure of this Tinubu and his gang, right? To tell you that they could do better. What are the questions you should be asking them now before you jump from frying pan to fire or wherever you again, like you did in 2015, would be one thing. Would they come back and restore that subsidy and remove this scam, which is them paying themselves in the truest sense of it? Would the government after Tinubu restore that and help you crash the cost of living crisis? At what cost would that be? Would the cost of giving you back your subsidy, right, outweigh the cost of maintaining these overfed pigs? Do you think? No? Anyway, Omoyele Sowore has been the only person who has been very clean and is not even like speaking in parables. He will return the subsidy because the reason why they told you it's not affordable is simply because these guys are so cold-hearted, so criminally minded, right? That they could actually package a poison for you and tell you that this is one special yogurt just for you to live long. And then they will do so smiling, knowing that a lot of you will die, but they will make money. And in the long run, they believe that the survivors may likely not even remember that they did that to them. This is how they are. And there are those who claim to be educated enough, living in different countries where most of their own stores are partly subsidized too. Are there, so Tinubu and his gang continue to lie to the people while they continue to dig the country into more debt. They've told Nigerians that debt is good. There's nothing bad in debt. We have more money in the foreign reserve, or we give more money to the state. But yet, Nigeria became more indebted in 2 years than she was in 8 years of the 8 years of the low cost of Bokuwari. So if Tinubu has his own 8 years, the question should be, how many of you will probably, people will still survive? How many would have to die needlessly? Just asking. So Kennedy Dino was talking about Tinubu's borrowing, problems. So he said the way Tinubu is going, it is obvious that with time, Tinubu will borrow money from moniepoint and OPay. I don't know. Right? Dino, like I said, he's back.
Took his oath of office. Before even getting to the office to ask questions, he removed subsidy. And that is the reason we are where we are today. He did the right thing in the wrong way. He did the right thing, but in the wrong way.
What would have been the right way?
The right way would have been what Tinubu did is likened to a surgeon who performed a very successful operation, very successful operation, but the patient died. He had a very successful operation, but the patient died.
If he was successful.
So what I'm saying in essence is that removal of subsidy is the right thing to do. But when? How? Matters. He removed subsidy without planning. And when you are going to organize a surgery on any patient, one, you prepare the patient. Two, there are precautionary measures that you must put in place. At times, you even have to ask the patient to take water. At times, you need to say, okay, eat. At times, you need to say, okay, let's place you on some medications. At times, you say, okay, let us sedate the patient. Then there's also room for recovery immediately after surgery. But to just take a patient to the surgery room, butcher this patient, and at the end of the day, the patient will not survive. That is exactly what Tinubu did. There was no planning. There was no succor. There were no buffers. No ameliorative measures. He's even yet to get to office. He has not even gotten to office to even see what inside the office of the president looks like, or take brief on subsidy directly from those who know. Without, just unceremoniously. Even before you get to your office, you commit that kind of chaos. And that is what created the chaos we are facing today. And today, Nigerians are not only unhappy, but I can tell you, I'm a grassroots person, that there is massive hunger in the land.
The president just said the other day that from January to August 2025, total collections reached. I mean that the administration has achieved their revenue target. That's something to smile about. I mean, it says from January to, I'm coming, let me land. From January to August 2025, total collections reached 20.59 trillion naira, a 40.5% increase from 14.6 trillion recorded in 2024.
If that statistic is correct, why is the president borrowing 1.7 billion from World Bank?
He also said that they have stopped borrowing.
Maybe that is not correct. I just gave you that figure now. Why is the president? Why did he borrow 1.7 billion dollars from the World Bank? Why, as the Senate, approved 21 billion dollars so far, and with many others coming for consideration? Many others are still coming for consideration.
Mind you,
and this government is one of the most reckless governments in the history of this country.
How do you mean?
The president who said he wanted to come and curb wastages bought a yacht. That yacht that the president bought has never been to the perimeter, territorial area of Nigeria. It's between Monaco and Paris. And what do we need a yacht for? In a time of austerity, in a time of pervasive hunger like this? The president also, within few months in office, bought a presidential jet that cost Nigeria billions.
No, he said it was a gift.
I am telling you that it was purchased. Gift by who? Gifts are to be declared. Gifts are to be declared. A president who gets a gift, why was Tom David West removed from office? It was because he got a gift of a gold wristwatch that was not declared. If you have a gift, declare who gave it to you. And they called it a gift because that's the money used in the purchase of that aircraft was not appropriated by the National Assembly. That is why it was tagged a gift. Then again, since Tafawa Balewa, Azikiwe, up down to Buhari, every president and prime minister in this country used Mercedes-Benz S-Class as their official vehicle. The president is using a bomb jammer Mercedes-Benz, the same type that Trump is using in America. And you say you want to curb wastages?
But you know, you're not different. Hold on, Dino.
If you allow me,
hold on.
I don't want my thoughts distorted on this particular line.
Okay.
And again, the same president, in the 8th Senate, the budget of the National Assembly was 150 billion. From 150 billion, today the president have increased the budget of the National Assembly to over 370 billion in order to make them a parastatal or department of the villa. So a president who said he was coming to curb wastages, who said he was coming to renew hope. I can catalog all this. Bought a yacht, bought a Cadillac, bought an aircraft, increased the money of the National Assembly, and I've borrowed like no other president in history. If you are making more money, then why are you borrowing?
To
the extent that the Speaker of the House of Representatives today,
I read it. He was
is also concerned, despite he's a member of the APC.
I read that he was talking about.
And
how
we will not be surprised if the president starts borrowing from OPay and moniepoint very soon.
Well, Senator
took.
Dino. Oh, let me land. I don't want you to interrupt my line of presentation. It's not too wrong, but those are the common things that you should consider whenever you are listening to the rogues that removed education subsidy on education and increased the school fees by over 500%, in some cases by over 800%. And then they are offering you student loans. Do you understand? So, but they are living large enough, right? That I never thought of it too. I've always wanted to ask about the yacht. I don't know if I should believe Dino, except for the first time I am hearing from him that same controversial yacht, right, has never been to Nigeria. So Tinubu and his gang have been using that in France, from Paris to Monaco to Paris. Hi. I'm waiting for the time they will probably take pictures on it, because you know them now. Once they take those sewage dwellers that they put suit and tie on, right? They may take pictures and show us just to let you see that, you know, see the life with a chop for here, right? Whenever Tinubu is in town, we can always go for the boat cruise. Nobody even asked for that yacht. Like, where is our yacht? Where is it? Most of the images of the yacht that we think we have, they are just images picked on the internet. Nobody knows what it looks like. Tinubu used $151 million to buy a used aircraft, and they call that the new presidential jet, right? But Tinubu is telling everyone that it was a gift, because he didn't buy it. It was the National Assembly. The National Assembly Committee on National Security. They are the ones who felt like Tinubu's life was in danger and they needed to get him a new aircraft. Rather than getting a new aircraft, they got him an old one sold to Nigeria by Shaguri, Tinubu's confidant. So now the aircraft itself barely flies. So by the time Tinubu is done, now then you go know why most of what is stole from Lagos have become so legalized that I don't know if there will be any government that will be able to, to retrieve them ever. By the time Tinubu is done, these presidential jets, you may end up seeing that it is in the name of one of his associates, not even in Nigeria's name, even though Nigeria paid for it. The yacht, by the time Tinubu is done, you may realize that the yacht is in the name of a Sheyi or the name of somebody somewhere. Or to make it funny, right? They may just say, oh, the yacht is actually owned by a company you've never heard before. They will say they are the ones who only leased it to Nigeria because Nigeria didn't buy it. They are the government. They can falsify any form of a document, like the same way they have been falsifying data to make themselves look good economically, while their people languishes in abject wanton poverty. There's nothing they can do. I'm just putting that in your head right now, so that in 6 years' time, if Tinubu lasted that long, right? In 6 years' time, most of these things you would have forgotten them. And if you remember any of them at all, they will just become basic arguments that they will confidently tell you, bring out the proof that Nigeria bought it. That's how the APC, Egbekegbe, operates. They'll be asking you to bring proof. You can go on and bring the newspaper headline, the cutout, and the rest of that. They will tell you that, okay, you don't know what you are talking about. And guess what? They may even present you a document that shows that Nigeria did not own all these things in a few years' time. That's Tinubu. That is why somebody said that you're all going to learn about Tinubu and his gang. Just same way you admire, they made you to admire Lagos from far, yeah? By the time Tinubu is done, right, you will learn the difference between Tinubu and the Fulani terrorists led by Bokwari. A reminder said the thing with Jaga banditry is that his core philosophy is to accumulate wealth and power on a generational level. So if you empower him for 4 years, it is the same as surrendering all the economic power in your country for 24 years. Don't take my word. Ask Lagosians. Buharians are locusts. They ravaged Nigeria for 8 years. But after 8 years, you will never hear of them again. Gage, Jonathan's crew made money for 6 years, then disappeared from the scene. Jaga bandits will never disappear. They are permanent. They will fix themselves at the nerve center of the economic power of the country in a way that is fundamental to the economic viability of the state. Land, taxes, resources, licenses, tolls, commissions, assets, etc. They will control the court and make it legally irreversible. Again, don't take my word for it. Ask anybody doing business in Lagos. Every single important business opportunity will have a nexus requiring you to go and kiss the ring of the boss or a proxy. That is what you sign up for when you empower Jaga bandits. Don't say you weren't told. Eventually. So that is why I said to get rid of them, it is going to be beyond just elections. It's going to be beyond election. Election can't stop them. Election can't change. The election can't control them because they have all of that under control. And they don't see millions. They just see statistics that they could make up in their head, and it remains so small to them because they feel so powerful. indeed. Babaloworo, who happened to be one popular cleric, Islamic cleric in Oworo Shoki in Oworo, Lagos, has added his own voice to the ongoing heartless demolition of people's homes simply because some interested Tinubu's men, they are interested in their lands. Right? Here, Babaloworo is called.
Ìjọba tí máa ń yọ àwọn èèyàn kúrò nínú ìṣòro bó sì ní ilẹ̀kùn ní kí n ṣe kó tó délé ìjọba. Kí ó ṣe wá délé pẹ̀lú wá délé ìjọba yóò wá ní kí wọ́n máa lè wọlé lóru. Lágbo kan òru wọ́n wọlé gbogbo ilé wọ́n wọlé wọ́n gbogbo máa rá sí. A sì wá wọlé tí wọ́n wọ ìdókítà àwọn èèyàn ní ojú márùn-ún mẹ́fà lọ́dún ẹ̀. Ṣé aládùúgbò gbà ni? Ṣé gbogbo ilé tí wọ́n wà tó gbé bàjẹ́ òun tó tó ikú ọmọ kan? Ṣùgbọ́n ìbẹ́ lọ́hùn ọba nínú márásì yìí ni pé gbogbo ẹni ó bá mọ̀ sí dáadáa lò ní kalẹ̀. Ṣé wá rí gbogbo ẹni tuntun máa ń bá tún fẹ́ràn ẹni tọ̀hún náà dáadáa kiri náà ní kalẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ bá mi nìyẹn gbogbo ẹni tí ń bá ń lè kí ẹni tọ̀hún náà dáadáa kiri náà ní kalẹ̀. Àwọn àgbàlagbà wọ́n ní ẹni tó bá lè dágbé ní igbó tí máa fẹ́ èèyàn.
Sorry if you don't understand Yoruba. The old man is just so surprised. Because according to him, this is somebody they said always take people away from problems and all of that, like how come he is now in government and what they are doing mostly is to go to people's houses and demolish their homes in the middle of the night. Like what kind of government is that? So then he placed curses on them that those who are responsible for that, their own happiness too shall be cut short in their old age. Because I can feel where that is coming from. Most of those people who are the homeowners in the areas where they demolished, close to the jetty, very, very, sort of like expensive land in that part of Lagos. So initially they told them that those houses did not befit the area, that the government wanted they wanted it a different outlook. The people started borrowing money to renovate their homes, to look modern or look whatever the government will be okay with. Others who couldn't afford that decided to sell their properties, right? Now, the government came later to demolish their houses in the middle of the night. As a heartless kind of people. But the people still have the mind, because most of those who are not affected would think it will never happen to them. Therefore, it is still APC. Somebody sent me a video of your flooding. Is that this morning? Maryland and Lagos, close to the area we are talking about.
This is the situation of Lagos, Maryland right now. Maryland don't full water. Everywhere is filled up. You get? If you know you are going to Maryland today, maybe you know I stay in work out. Everywhere is filled up like this. Oh my God. If you know you are going anywhere, mostly people in Lagos. Here is Maryland. Know your route, know where you are passing. Because this place is already filled up. You can see this pikeman now. I swear to God. You can't move. And this machine now, you have to work on it. So please guys, know where you are going today. Everywhere is filled up. You go match tire.
See water torí Ọlọ́run.
So Lagos is surrounded by water, and somehow, I don't know, maybe it's just me though, right? I've always been like thinking, like, you see, when I was younger, they have this department, they call them town planners. So the town planners are those who are going to map the city where should be, where you should have a dual carriageway, the inner roads, where they should have residential areas, where they should have the commercial center, like the city center, and all of, they plan all of that. And while they are planning a city, right, it also includes how traffic moves in and traffic leaves. You get that now? So they are very crucial to determine, you know, the quality of such a state or, you know, a city. Then in my head, right, I'm like, town planners were supposed to possibly have figured something out a long time ago. And I don't think it is actually late now. If genuinely, they decided to actually construct what they call the underground drainage system. It will be built specially, purposely, just to ensure that, you know, when it rains, within an hour at most, right, the rainwater will have been drained under this underground drainages, and that all through to wherever they want it to be directed to, maybe back to the sea or back to any other water anywhere. It could be done. When I talk about underground drainages, I'm talking about drainages where, you know, they're like more than 6, 7, 8 feet, sort of like a high when they are dug. So there's nothing like it's going to get blocked by this or that. No, it should be improved, an improvement on the waste collection. The reason why most of, you know, your homes, your streets are flooded mostly is because of your waste disposal. You know, the way people dispose their waste and all that, and everything just ended up blocking their gutters. And when it rains, everywhere is flooded. Then you still have to put it to government. I mean, come on, man. Otumba Gaddafi said, shit business, not real business. Why? Because people need to shit, right? And anybody who can provide that service, where people can, the convenience of being able to, when you are pressed, and you could access public toilets, clean, you know, all right, and you could pay some penny, people will use that. That's called service. So if a state that has been running democratic system, taxing people, bragging about how much money they take from people every year as their success story, if they are unable to put together a working waste collection system, then that in itself is an F9, like Kolu would say. F9. It's been 26 years, brethren. 26 years. No, hang on. Yeah, 26 years of your fake democracy. You mean they couldn't actually have built waste disposal, I mean, what do you call it, the dump sites that are mechanized with people working there, and waste collection system, including the bin and all of that for every household, numbering and the rest. Baba, 26 years. And this is 2025. So people are still losing their properties. They are still losing their lives to flooding. And they are also still being blamed. There are people who are very dirty. They can just throw things at Baba. All over the world, there are still always people who throw things anyhow. You get that now? It is called fly tipping. There are penalties for that. But before you fly tip anything, as the government or the council provided a public waste disposal system, services for you, where you can easily walk within 2-3 blocks, and you get to see the roadside bin or waste disposal where you can drop anything inside. Then fly tipping. Anybody who then fly tip after that won't blame you if you have them arrested and then fined. But in a situation whereby criminals are more interested in buying themselves new cars, going on holidays, and hoping that it won't rain today or it won't rain this month, and we won't have to worry that there is trash everywhere. It's F9.
All classes. You know what they call F level? when you get failure in all the subjects that you take, F9, F8, F9, F8, FF, double F. That is his name.
It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian.
Do you understand? But yeah, who just a talker? Because those who are really supposed to do it, they don't see it as a priority. There are other things that, it is more important to them than not these simple things. I remember when I was still in Nigeria, and I was at I was the PRO of the National Youth Council, NYCN of something, National Youth Council of Nigeria. I was once said, elected though. So my brain was like walking itself. I was a young man, and I looked around, and I was told, or I was taught that you can be very, very useful in life if you can be a problem solver. Do you get that now? And there's a chance that you're likely going to really, really be successful in life if you're a problem solver. Just look around. What do you think is a problem that you would like to probably offer a solution that would just be like a lifetime solution? I was young and probably foolish. There are so many young and foolish Nigerians right now who in their imaginative minds, they could imagine things, but the Nigeria will happen, they will realize that, shut up your mouth. We ask you, say, make you the dream. But here, they know the dream. They go tell you what now Nigeria go show you what you go become. Do you understand? Here, those not be everybody where they dream they come true for here. You know that kind of thing. And what did I do? I was in Odogbolu, my hometown, and I wanted to create an opportunity. So what did I do? I sat, right? And I drafted this proposal, right? And what was that? I wanted to create wealth via waste collection and disposal. So in Odogbolu local government, which my hometown is the headquarters. So we have 72 towns, 72 towns and villages. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like we have some towns who are like moderately big. We have some that are like relatively small, like communities like that. 72. So in my head, I wrote all the 72 out. And I was going to make a proposal to the local government chairman that if the local government would allow, I would need 3 dumping sites. Okay. And I'm going to develop a mechanism where we are going to use, when we used to do the environmental sanitation every Saturday or yeah. So what the local government usually did back then was that they will hire those who are using tippers. Those tippers they were using transporting gravels and others like that, yeah. So they will, for environmental day, most of those truck owners, they don't go to work, right? So the council will then pay them to help collect all the wastes that we have sort of like cleaned and cleared out of the houses, the surroundings, all of that. We'll bag them, and these trucks will be going from one street to the other in my town. They will collect all of that and go and dispose them. But suddenly that stopped. So my own proposal was that I'll just get all those tipper people and their trucks, right? to sign up a deal with me, my company, right? To be picking up wastes just once a week on any route they are dedicated to. And it's not hard. In each town, you will get to see at least people back in my own days, all right, when I was younger. So you could see at least 5 of such trucks, or the drivers who lives in my hometown. So all I have to do is just see them, so they can serve the town. I go to Ososa, get those ones who are the tipper owners there. They will serve Ososa. And the ones who are going to help me serve Okwawani, Ayekbeni, Imodini, Imosoni, Ibefuni, and all those like that, right? So we'll pick them like that, and they will agree on a single day. Now, every household will pay me 20 naira for every collection every week. So that's 80 naira every month. Now, Odogbolu at the time probably had maybe 2,000 houses. Let's put it down. Let's say 2,000 houses in Odogbolu. So I was like 80 naira times 1,000 houses. That's 80,000 naira. Times 2 houses. That's 160,000 naira. 160,000 naira. Sorry. Let me take that again. Okay. So 2,000 houses, 80 naira. Right? So 1,000 is 80. That's 160,000 naira. So that simply means I could be making, in Odogbolu alone, I could be making 160,000 naira weekly. Right? But then I cut it, I said averagely. Half of that, that's 80,000 naira. So if I'm making 80,000 naira a week in Odogbolu town alone, but that's 320,000 naira a month, Odogbolu. So if I now go to other towns who have just lesser buildings, like maybe 200 houses, 300 houses, but I did all of that. But I did the math. I wrote everything out. I put the numbers, everything together. I was so proud of myself. Like, how much would I pay the tippers? How much would I pay this? How much would I pay that? Baba, in that process, Baba, my calculation made me a multimillionaire, just like that. All I needed was just for the government to look into my proposal and tell me, wow, you are so brilliant. We'll give you the government backing, okay? But you need to register your, like story. So the first person I spoke to, AY, was a PA to local government chairman. So that, AY, I have this idea and I am ready to kind of bring everybody on board. And we are also going to employ this number of people and all of that. I did all of that, but story. But that idea, I promise you, there are better ideas of people who actually went to study environment, study this and that in that country, who can do better than my own baby thought. Some of them are being paid by government to figure out how to fix this kind of a thing, but they are not interested. They're not interested in all them. My idea would have created nothing less than 50,000 jobs across Ogun State if I was privileged to have that. Like, I didn't have to do much, just my thought, my idea. Let's do this and that. It would have created a lot of jobs. I probably would have been a multi-billionaire today just by collecting trash, simply because I could do it regularly. People knows that once they bring their stuff out on a particular day, the trucks will come, take all of them, dispose them properly. And I was planning to now start something called waste to wealth, where I can also either use the waste to, boil them and kind of like refine them into fossil fuel, diesel, petrol, or whatever. I could do that. I could use it to generate other source of power. I could be so rich by now. I won't be in the UK. I won't be here like this. So the reason why I'm pointing that out is that there are people like myself whose imaginations are so good that all they needed was just a push from government that wanted to do something. But that is not the deal in that contraption. Idea plenty. There are people that are paid to give them ideas, but they just won't do it. Because doing it means that they would have to cut down on their own greed for our own need. Yeah? It is Nigeria. In Anambra, they are going to have their own election, governorship election soon, right? And Solo Dump has been everywhere, tongue lashing his opponent. There's a woman called Uche Okunefe. What's her name again? Okunefe or so. You know that woman? She was once a senator, I believe. Don't worry, you'll see her soon. So Solo Dump, right, accused her of forging her educational qualification. Like, she forged a PhD. She forged this. I don't know. Now she's responding to Solo Dump. This one is the side piece, by the way, right? Anambra politics. Listen to this. Uche. She's a woman, by the way.
The illiterate professor, Senona in Anambra State, Biko Rapumata. We are practicing constitutional democracy in Nigeria. All political parties must know their candidates. So, this is over government twice in that before we are not imposed on the people of Anambra State in the government. For the past 3 years, the government South food in a state. South, Song. So, under your watch, 2 young state assembly members died under questionable circumstances. When you move, you talk to Lawyer Bufa as chief executive officer of the state, and many others. If they are not feeling in Anambra State, Ozunde Madeju. Anambra State now, Thursday, the Manana Tumo, the Benina Malala. Keep an Anambra Kita, Murunyana, Funyana, so a maximum and government. You can't reinforce failure and you know that. You know you have failed. You have failed woefully. Then I come after. Isi, my certificate, my PhD will fake. Go to court. You want PhD, the hegemonian will fake certificate. If you tell November 8th, you can get a court together. If you tell, it's just one member masters. If you tell my music, Ghana did so, all music ever, you tell your father my masters. The University of Calabar, they didn't know my first degree. How could they don't know? Still, you go there with my brother, keeping a child, go and ask. I don't know if Professor Kegi did. I keep up over any hand upon a professor of our award again by department. Neighboring, because I never professor, because I never used just award the department in the natural ways. So, what that I want to know the dirtiest governor in the whole Africa. When you see Messi and Peter Messi, you go over to the deodorants, you may still Italian and Abu. Keep can work in baby. You may call you all those signal and Akota now is so stinking and embarrassing for a government. So, Ludo, I'm not saying people. Hakumaka, I think you're maybe a candidate of a party governorship, and not attack a deputy governorship candidate of another party. Stop attacking me in the whole listen, one, I'm a governor. Why do I know the Nanambra? So you have cancelled her out, assuming she has political ambition tomorrow. You have cancelled. You don't know the implication of that statement that you made. But let me tell you something, Soludo. If I can be where I am today without 1% support from you, I can be president without you. You are not God and you can't be my God. You are too small to determine my future. I am where I am today based on hard work, God's grace, and perseverance. And 1 million of Soludos can never stop me. And you know that, you know me now. And that is why you're attacking me per second. Let me tell you, don't escape anything. One day I will meet you in the field. Okay, now, by the way, no one in Nana can put your money in Nana. Never start packing your things. As far as I'm concerned, very soon I'll be the former governor of Anambra State. Okay, now I say now every day, Tinubu, oh, Mr. President, progressives are working together. In 2023, Tinubu borrow your friend. Did you suspend your friendship with Tinubu in 2023? In 2020, expression. Let me tell you, Soludo, be very careful how you talk about me. If you make like you as a woman, 1 million Africans, forget me, because I may be a very timid person, very envious of people, very jealous, very cantankerous, a sadist. You're never happy with yourself. I don't know what your problems are, but I believe I'm not one of your problems. Your problem must be tampered because you're not behaving like a normal human being. You're behaving like a sadist. That's what you are. So leave me out of your problem because I'm not one of them. We are just contesting an election. We are not at war. We are contesting an election because we are practicing democracy. All parties must have candidates, and you must accept the fact that you must have opponents. Even if I'm not into this, another person will be. But I know you're attacking me because you know what it means. Whoever that carries the bomb is the person that gets that bomb. But I can able governor can meaning any strength will able governor. I've never been governor before, but going by what I've achieved as an individual, so that kind of governor, that can make a mind. That cannot be too much. My governor in my fake professorship in the illiterate professor.
So she's doing what Soludo has been doing as well. Soludo has been attacking his opponents' personalities, and he has been questioning their mental capabilities, right? And they are responding in the like mind, you would say. It will be interesting because you know something, right? If you have been following their exchanges, right, you will see how hilarious, right? They have both, they've all been, right? They will be mixing Igbo with English, and they were actually like abusing themselves. Okay, so she practically just called out Solodom there to say, you are not acting like somebody who is actually a professor. That is your PhD, and now your PhD is like an awarded PhD, like honorary, because the way you have been acting since you became governor, they didn't really portray you as somebody who is educated to the level of being a professor. Okay, so it's just an election. It is not war. And you can go to the gutters as much as you like, you know, but it's the time we tell, pretty much like that. Now talking about the time telling, here is what the former Jigawa governor, Sule Lamido, had to say about Kolu just a few days back, reminding the Northerners that, especially the youth, that once Tinubu gets a second term, they should forget about their future because Otilo, sort of.
Bukan yang saya tempat bela. Aku masih tempat bela. Putus tempat bela. Ini. Dan ini. Aku itu berada. Baru bukan pun ini. Bahasa kasar orang ini kalau dia berkata, so dekat apa saya tempat bela. Aku mesti asal dia berkata. Aku berada sana atas suara. Bayar sana tak boleh jemaah. So dekat pusat itu, pusat itu. Mula nanti idan video kayak ini. Nak kau mana? Ko muna fata da yadda kawai bakin nan da yadda kai furta da convention da kome muna fata sai fili ta gyaro domin sai magana shi ne inda yana magana tarihi, ana magana asali, ana magana aiki, ana magana san Najeriya, kage Najeriya ba za ka ce ba da fili. Tabbas ba za ka yi. Saboda haka mu nan a sama kuma za a cin Najeriya a shirin muke. Amma a Jigawa a shafance kwana a filin kudurar dam. Domin kar kuma da mutum da ke ABC amma daga ake ku ABC ko da ba za ku yi ba ko? Haka ba ba. Kuna ta bai kyauta ba. Yau mun ga alherin ta. Bai saboda haka mu muna shirye muke mai zumunci da kowa a Najeriya domin cikin Najeriya. Shirye muke mun cewa mun ba da gudunmawa ta kowace hanya da ilimin mu da dukiyar mu. Domin yanzu zai nan shi ne ta da mai ceto da ilimi. Idan ya kai
So that was him. He was accused by the EFCC of looting 1.3 billion naira when he was governor. His son was accused of laundering 712 million naira when his father was Jigawa governor. And last year, right, I've been wondering how he's been able to come out like others just to talk and all that, only to realize that his corruption case or cases were quashed, and he could go on and enjoy his loot for lack of, evidence, they say. Yes, Lamido, speaking to the youth there. But here is Goodluck Ebere Jolantan sharing his personal experience with people around him when he was in power. And all he could learn was that don't ever, ever take the word of the politicians to heart. Remember? He's a politician too. Good luck, Jonathan.
This way, because to remind me of our days as a deputy governor, because even my picture that he used for the program is the picture I took when I was a deputy governor. So he selected that picture when I was there. So if you look at that face, it's much younger than my current face. But Mike is somebody that is difficult for me to place. As a human being from my primary school to the tertiary level and gotten involved in politics by divine providence from deputy governor to the president of this country, post-presidency of today, it's one of the few friends I have that can give out their neck for me. Politics in the Nigerian standard, you find it difficult to see somebody who will say the same thing in the morning and say the same thing in the afternoon and the same thing in the evening. I've witnessed a lot of betrayals, especially my 2015 elections. And Mike is somebody who, I have one other friends, but Mike is one person that will take a bullet on my behalf. So for occasion like this, I don't know how to comment, other people to speak. But for me, is somebody that you can take his words to the bank. You can take Mike's words to Access Bank from seeing the owner of Access Bank here. Most politicians, you cannot take their words to the bank. They will tell you something, the next 1 hour they are saying another, the next 1 hour they are saying another thing. Mike, you have tried, you're a honest person, you're a true Catholic. And I'm quite pleased to associate with you.
Jonathan and his pals, the police and their own customers, as seen on the street of Delta, I think, Asaba.
Look at all this police. This money, I try to collect money from a driver, and the driver is not stopped, and they break the glass. I don't know why police is behaving like this. A senior officer. Oh God, you don't have right to spoil anything from out. You don't have right. If you are not the driver, can you talk like this? If you are not the driver, can you talk like that? You don't have right to spoil anything from out. Oh, anything that can affect anybody inside matter, you don't need to do it. It's okay, go ahead. The break, the glass that break. If you are not the driver. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
Police became upset as the driver of a commercial bus won't pay him. Then he smashed his mirror, broke his side mirror, because knowing that before he probably drives a distance, another set of corrupt police officers will see the broken mirror, and then they will have a reason to arrest him or extort him, sort of. Anyway, we'll leave it at that this afternoon. I have spent nearly many hours, nearly 100 minutes with us, but actually over 100 minutes. So I kept the line opened, but it seemed that I had limited try, so my time is up. I will see you later this evening. So please, the over 400 of us that are currently on YouTube and others on Facebook, don't leave without dropping your own like. At least it's the least you can do. Then join me later if you can tonight. So you have a good afternoon.
Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook lórí YouTube. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Maiyegun já wa sí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Maiyegun máa wí. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Maiyegun Diary politico. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Maiyegun. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní Maiyegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Maiyegun Diary Nayibi #1. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bí gómìnà gbówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa wí. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o, Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ̀lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti dọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán o àkàmù. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.